Today, Celine is a successful French fashion brand. Under Phoebe Philo, it represented this understated luxury that everyone talks about today, if you know what I mean. Then under Slimane, the brand expanded into menswear, perfumes, and has seen an increase in revenue. So in this video, I want to look close at the brand and share a few thoughts on it, a few snippets specific to Celine. Celine was founded by Celine and Richard Vapiana as a made-to-measure children's shoe store. Then it repositioned itself as ready-to-wear in 1960 and later expanded into leather goods. Then, in 1996, Celine officially became part of LVMH in a deal worth $540 million. Although Arnold had been eyeing the brand since the late 80s when he bought Celine's capital. So here we have a brand which did not start as a ready-to-wear, which is the case with many other luxury brands, but rather picked it up later. But what is it that the consumers find so attractive about Celine? To understand that, we first need to look at the journey that the brand has made. Phoebe Philo was appointed as the creative director in 2008 and stayed with the brand for almost a decade. She brought the brand to the modern era and designed for the modern woman with practicality in mind. And what was the appeal of Celine under Philo? Its minimalism and elegance, this Parisian chic simplicity is the brand's DNA. Also, under Philo, it gained a loyal customer base with its functional designs. If the old Celine that is under Philo would be a person, I would describe her as this sophisticated lady who also enjoys a simple yet elegant and stylish urban lifestyle. It's important for her to look good, but she doesn't scream about it, but rather attracts attention with her calm, composed, but witty presence. One thing I want to mention is that Philo wasn't very fond of e-commerce. She was really focused on exclusivity. Now, the fact that she wasn't keen on selling online increased the perception of scarcity and exclusivity. And for many customers, it felt like a sacred ritual going into Celine stores. Now, interestingly, since her departure, resale prices and sales of second-hand old Celine surged. In fact, since Philo announced that her new brand would launch in September, searches for old Celine have surged 70% on eBay. That's according to Harper's Bazaar. Now, the phenomenon is quite different from the usual rapid changes in fashion trends. It values old things more than the new ones. In any case, there is an element of scarcity that is so appealing, and people are trying to hunt down certain items. So it's the thrill of the chase alongside her designs that is so attractive. Then in 2018, Hedi Slimane became the creative director of Celine. He revamped the stores, got rid of the accent from the name, and of course took a slightly different approach to designs. Now, as a lead designer, you understand that you need to keep the brand's DNA intact. At the same time, you infuse it with your own style and creations. So his looks are more dramatic, imbued with this indie rock vibe. Nonetheless, looking at their website, I can see they have a pretty good line of basics. From the business point of view, since Slimane joined Celine, the brand sales have grown. They employ more people now and have 178 stores worldwide. So the brand is definitely growing, and LVMH has set to double its income. Of course, I must mention leather goods and handbags of revenue. Handbags attract not only regular luxury consumers, but also occasional shoppers, the so-called excursionists. And handbags are something that you can have for many years, you can resell or pass on to your kids. And sometimes they can even appreciate in value. For many high-end brands, their leather goods are the cash cow of their business, which is definitely the case with Louis Vuitton. Now, Celine's handbags are timeless and can appeal to a 27-year-old as well as to a 55-year-old, so mother and daughter case. So it's quite a wide stretch of the market that brings in healthy revenue. Now let's look at their digital strategy. Until late 2017, Celine did not have an online store. So it's only been 6 years since they embraced e-commerce. Now, many luxury brands were wary of the internet in the beginning. But now looking at Celine's Instagram account, they have 6.7 million followers and 2,600 posts. and they don't follow anyone. Now, I can tell you that the number of posts is lower than that of some other luxury brands. For example, Chanel, they have twice the number of posts than Celine and 9 times more followers, almost 60 million. But okay, this is a brand with much more exposure because of the movies, books, and the legend of Coco Chanel. So let's take a different brand. For example, Loewe has 7,000 posts and 5.3 million followers. So they actually have more posts and less followers than Celine. That's as of November 2023. Of course, the number of posts doesn't always equal the growth of followers and revenue. But from this, we can see which brands jumped on social media marketing. And it has to do with a number of things, primarily with the lead designer vision. For example, for Loewe, it was their creative director Jonathan Anderson who pushed for social media to increase visibility and buzz. So what's next for Celine? Now, the next step for Celine and many other luxury brands is to capture the hearts of the Gen Zs. They have been experimenting with some ideas, but still, it's a very exclusive brand. However, everyone talks about appealing to Gen Zs. The problem with it is, first of all, for timeless luxury brands, the consumer needs to reach a certain age, a certain level of maturity to appreciate certain brands because the taste will change. And what's more, generation is a very broad concept with so many subcultures. Plus, you cannot just change a brand's DNA to apply to a wider market because this is not a luxury strategy. It can be a fashion strategy, but then the brand might lose its status. Secondly, the buying power of Gen Z is yet to reach a peak. The eldest Gen Zs are not 30 yet, but they are already eyeing brands that they will be able to afford once they achieve professional success, for example. So what luxury brands such as Celine can do is to create this dream equation in the younger generation's mind so that once their buying power reaches a stage where they can afford the finer things in life, they go for their dream brand.